Hi everyone, my name is Melinda and I'm the owner and founder of MyStateBoardKit. So what I'm doing is I am actually just going to be an extra tool that you can use to help pass your state board and your practical exam. What I do and what I specialize is actually in the state board kits. I make for cosmetology, barber, aesthetics, and manicurist kits. And it's just geared for Texas right now. I haven't gone all over yet, which eventually is going to be my goal, but for right now it's mainly Texas. The reason I decided to do this is because I've had students who have struggled when it comes up to passing their written and their practical exam. It's not so much that they don't know the content, it's just trying to figure out an easy way to do it. So what I had decided to do is I was going to go ahead and start tutoring, and this happened a couple of years ago. I happened to take in a student that she had some kind of difficulty when it came up to understanding the part of the written. So what I did is I broke it down. I did use the PSI bulletin, and then of course used our Milady Book. And so what I did is I just tried to make it a little bit easier, and I broke it down for her. Once she passed her written exam, I helped her create her state board bag. And that's when I had decided, you know, if there would have been somebody who would have created a state board bag for her, this would have been a little bit less stress-free, I guess you could say, for the student. And so after I helped her create hers, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. So I started making state board bags, and little by little, I have improved my bags where now it's a little bit easier for you to work with. I try to make it simple as possible. At the same time, anybody who buys a state board bag from me, what I do is I provide some type of tutoring, and this way when they get the bags from me, I can explain it a little bit better. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I've been in the industry as a cosmetologist for over 35 years. I am a cosmetology instructor, and in December, I actually got my barber's license as well as my barber's instructors. So I've taught the different areas when it comes up to our industry, and I believe that kind of gives me an idea of what the students feel that is needed when it comes up to having some type of tutoring. I know the biggest thing, of course, is your chemicals, trying to understand the chemical part of it, trying to understand the haircut part of it, and then mainly getting ready to take your written and your practical exam. So what my goal is, I want to be able to break everything down. I want to be able to give you that little extra comfort when it comes up to understanding the state board part of it, whether it's the written or the practical. Now, like I said, I just finished getting my barber's license, so going to PSI, going to getting my license, I can understand where you're coming from. You know, not only can it get confusing, it could get frustrating. I know with this pandemic going on, it's hard to study, especially if you are a stay-home parent and you're trying to find areas on how to study, whether it's taking notes, whether it's understanding the content. There's always different ways of learning. So what I want to do is I want to be able to create an easy way for you to understand it. Whether it's breaking it down by chapters. So, you know, in the beginning, my goal is for you to understand the practical part, but I know that I want to be able to help you understand each chapter. I believe there's 35 chapters in the Milady Book, and then of course you have your TDLR book, which it also is part of your exam. So, you know, when it comes to the videos, I want to be able to make it words understandable for you. I do want to do a Q&A live, so there might be a time where I can say at least once a month we could go live, and this way you're able to ask questions. Of course, I am not here to replace your instructor by all means, or anybody that works for TDLR, or anybody that works for PSI. I'm just an instructor that tends to go a little bit more into depth of the test. what I really try to do is trying to understand the PSI. Now, have I gone for special training for it? No. My training actually is from the feedback from the students. You know, I look at their test as far as where they are strong in, and you know where I might have lacked on teaching them. So a lot of this is just experience. Now for myself, I can say for the barber one, I did get to go to the testing, so that helped me out to understand. Plus, you know, it gives you an idea as far as like somebody who hasn't gone in years. Now cosmetology, I mean, I got my license back in the 80s. So, you know, when I went to school, we had to do so much more, you know, nothing compared to how it is now. Now, I know the biggest thing is, of course, you to understand the sanitation part of it and the sterilization and when to use it, when to disinfect. So what I want to do is I want you to understand how to use it when it comes up to your practical part. And that's where I think a lot of, you know, the students get confused, you know. So, you know, your teacher might teach you one way, somebody else might teach you a different way, and then of course I'll teach you one way. At the end, what you need to do is try to grasp everything together and see what's better for yourself. And that's the whole purpose of it. You know, it's not so much competing against, you know, this instructor taught me this way, this instructor taught me that way. There's no right or wrong. And believe me, I am not here to replace your instructor at all. I mean, that's not what the purpose of my YouTube videos or anything that I do, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's on TikTok. I am going to be creating a Facebook. And in that Facebook, it's going to be just like my YouTube videos. I want to be able to, you know, be available to those students. Am I going back to teaching? Of course. I love teaching. But I think this kind of gives me where I can be more one-on-one with everybody, and I not only am I only getting so many students, I'm actually doing a whole lot different, you know, different areas of Texas, and that's what I really want to do. I want to be able to understand how, you know, you're learning, and maybe this is something that, you know, we all as instructors can work together. You know, again, this pandemic really opened up our eyes as far as how our students are learning. So, you know, I just want to be able to make it real. Now, those last 100 hours that you're in school, this is where I want to be able to help you. I want to be able to help you understand when it comes up to the part of the written and the practical. You know, what do you need to know as far as the written? What chapters are they in? You know, what do you need to learn? Again, I don't know the questions or answers as far as what is in your PSI testing. I'm just going with what other students have told me. And again, you know, when I took my test, I got to see that a lot of it, you know, which way it went, whether it went towards disinfecting, whether it went to sterilization, sanitation. And, you know, and I think that's where, you know, what I learned as far as being a student again, how it is hard, you know, for students to understand. So, you know, I'm just merely going to be a tool for y'all. I know that as an instructor, you know, we kind of utilize our own experience as far as when it comes up to you learning. That's one thing I do have. Having the 35 years behind me, I can relate how to work with clients, how to build a business. I used to have a business myself. I have my associates in business, and I'm hoping to get my bachelor's. So, you know, that's where I can say that I can bring a lot of my own experience into these videos and share them with you, share my stories with you. I've had from good to bad to the ugly. So, you know, I want this platform to be where we can all relate together, whether you're a student or whether you're an instructor. I think that our future depends on us as far as them understanding. You know, it's times have changed. I mean, times have really changed. I mean, look at the technology. When I took my state board test, I mean, it was an 8-hour, you went from 8, you stayed till 5, you know, if you happen to finish early. But now, I mean, y'all have it where you take your written, once you pass your written, you take your practical. And so the technology has changed, and I think that's where I want to be able to stay focused with the technology that's going up there. And you know, one thing about our industry is we're not going away. There's not going to be a robot that's going to take our place. I can tell you that much. I know they tried bringing something in that sucked the hair and been able to cut someone's hair, but in the long run, we're the ones that actually do the final touches when it comes up to the clients. One thing as students, I want you to know that we as instructors, you are our client. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have the job of teaching. We wouldn't be able to pass on our knowledge. And so I know that we are going to be changed as far as names. I believe we're going to be told that we're practitioners instead of instructors. But just because it's going into a different name doesn't mean that I'm going to change the way how I feel about my industry. I really truly enjoy being a teacher. I enjoy passing on what I know, whether it's from hair coloring to haircuts, to, you know, the simplest things. I want to be able to pass that on. And I think the only way that I can pass that on is through my YouTube channel and through Facebook and through any type of social media. And I think as an instructor, that's what I want to be able to give back. But again, you know, I'm here mainly just to be a tool. I'm not here to replace any instructor at all. I want to be able to see my kids go across Texas and eventually go all over the United States. I want to be able to be that person that when you're not sure on, you know, something that's going on as far as your state board, you can come back, you can comment and ask, you know, okay, can I do this? Can I do that? And it's not that I'm going to say, oh yeah, you can, and no, you can't. I'm just going to give you suggestions. What you do when it comes up to your testing, that's up to you. We're learning at the same time. So all I can do is just give you a little bit of feedback, get some feedback from your instructors, get feedback from other people, you know, and that's how you're going to learn how to be successful. So, you know, with that being said, I am going to need feedback with any of my videos or uploads that I do, because that's the only way I'm going to get better. I want to be able to get the content that you need or want. You know, if it takes me bringing some people live, I would love to do that. You know, whether it's learning how to do a barber shave to doing eyelash perming, I want to be able to be that person that brings that little extra. Of course, you know, the exams are going to be my #1 priorities, but I want to be able to be that person that brings that little extra, so that way we have a professional channel for our students, you know, because I know we're competing always with YouTube. A lot of the people that are on YouTube are not professionals, and you know, they're wanting to make it easier. And being in the industry that we have, we want to be able to utilize all the social medias, but at the same time we want to make sure that we stay professional, you know, and that's my goal. But anyway, again, I want to thank you for coming to my first channel, and I'm hoping to upload every week. You should be able to see my loads on Mondays, and if there's something in particular that you want to see, let me know, and maybe I could do twice a week. It just depends on my everyday life. You know, of course, my bags are the first thing, and bringing content to you is important to me. So again, my name is Melinda, and I'm looking forward to seeing my bags all over Texas. Thanks.